Ever since the release of Super Mario RPG Remake, it has been a great success, as I see multiple people streaming it on Twitch. And what I also see them doing is doing the super jumps, which is what this video is going to cover. Doing successful 100 super jumps, even in the original version, is likely the hardest thing to pull off in the entire game. And I see multiple people trying this, and they are struggling quite a bit for it. If you are one of those people, then this video is perfect for you, as I'm going to guide you through the steps of getting successfully 100 super jumps. If you're not familiar as to why 100 super jumps is relevant, it awards you the super suit, the most broken item in the entire game. And it's very important to get for a speedrun, but if you just want it for an achievement, that's good too. Unfortunately, for a high-quality speedrun in this game, 100 super jumps is required, as the super suit is part of the route. And a lot of people get really intimidated whenever it comes to this super suit, as it does require the 100 super jumps. But again, I am going to guide you through how to do them, and hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to do them as well. Let's get into it. So just some quick fact on the super jumps in the original game. It was a 3-frame window after you got the 13th super jump, and it continued all the way up to 100. And this was very difficult to do, and it's still incredibly difficult to do, even for experienced players in the game. But we're not going to talk about the OG game, as we are going to be focusing on the remake. The remake does seem much easier, and instead of 3 frames, it feels about 4 or 5, which doesn't seem like much, but that is a very huge gap. It makes it a lot easier, but again, like I said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't make it free. I see plenty of people struggle with this, getting to the 50 mark and giving up, or even getting to the 90 mark and giving up. And today, I'm going to tell you that you can indeed do this. So first off, let's talk about monitors. What I would recommend is using a 1 millisecond monitor. For gaming, you can find these all over the place. And if you are using a monitor that does have more than 1 millisecond response time, it could really be screwing you, as you are dealing with a lot of lag there. However, that may not matter to you, because you could be playing on a monitor like that for however long you've been gaming. And if that's the case, then you may not need to switch. However, if you do want to do something this precise, then I would recommend you get a 1 millisecond monitor. That's what I use. I have known a couple speedrunners to be playing on monitors such as these, and they've been doing it for a really long time, and it hasn't really bothered them. But they are really good at the game that they play, so like I said, this may not matter to you. Second off, let's talk about the visual cue. The visual cue that I used in the original game was Mario's hat. Whenever he landed on the enemy, I would look at the top left portion of Mario at his hat, and then I would hit the button during that. In this game, Remake, I look at Mario's boot. It seems to be a more consistent visual cue for me, and I was able to get it second try on my first playthrough of the game. So I'm gonna go with that. It seems to work really well for me. A lot of people seem to have different visual cues for this, and I'm just saying what I use. It may not work for you. You might use a different visual cue. In the end, the visual cue isn't what matters, as you're going to be hitting the button at the same exact time every single time. So if you don't like the boot, use something else. I've heard of some people using the shadow. You might also be able to use the hat. It's up to you what you want to use. Third off, let's talk about practice. The best enemy to practice these super jumps on are the little spinies in Bandit's Way. They don't take any jump damage at all, and you can come here as soon as you get super jump, or you can come here whenever, but super jumps do not damage these enemies. So you can practice as much as you want, and they won't take any damage, and it's the most efficient way. Just be sure to come with plenty of syrups so you can heal up, and then try again and practice for however much time it's going to take you to get these down. So, let's put everything together. A good monitor that you're comfortable with? Check. Number 2, visual cue. Check. Number 3, go to Bandit's Way and fight the Spiny. Check. Now that you're here, let's go ahead and dive in to what you need to do. The super jumps take a ton of focus, so if you're one of those people who has trouble focusing, just focus up and don't let anything else distract you. Because once you get distracted, because of how precise this is, you could easily mess it up. What I do is whenever you land on the enemy, I look at Mario's boot, and you can look at whatever visual cue that you need to look at. And you need to pay attention. You only get a very short amount of time. Like I said, it's either 4 or 5 frames. You get a very small amount of time to hit the button. And again, it doesn't matter what button you hit. It could be Y, B, A, or X. It makes no difference. So whatever button that you feel comfortable hitting is your choice. So as soon as you land, look at your visual cue. That's when you hit the button. You need to do that 100 times. If you're struggling with this, it's normal. This is not meant to be easy. This is a very, very difficult thing to do. And whenever I was learning the speedrun for the original game, it took me a very long time to learn how to do this. And even then, I was still struggling, messing it up. But with enough practice, you can get it consistent. You can do this. I think what some people have trouble with is they think it's a timing thing. And while it is a timing thing, yes, I don't necessarily time it. Like if I had a metronome, it would probably mess me up. But what I really focus on is the visual cue. And I think some people might be more into timing, other people might be into the visual cue. I'm more keen on using the visual cue. It helps me a lot. That's what really broke the barrier with how I learned it. And it might help you. If not, you might need to use a metronome. You might not. But again, this is doable. And you can do this. Like I said before, unfortunately, the speedrun barrier is the super jumps. Some people get really intimidated by it and they don't want to learn the run because of this. But I think it's a good thing that Nintendo did make this easier, because in the case that people do want to speedrun this game, they can then do the super jumps and then follow the route as intended. After you've done the 100 super jumps, make sure to not miss out on your reward, the attack scarf and the legendary super suit. Go to Monster Town and get it from the dog. I do wish there was more that I could say to help you in your endeavor to do the 100 super jumps, but really, I've explored everything that there is to do. It's just all about you putting it into execution. And I wish you the best of luck. You can do this. I believe in you. So guys, that about wraps it up for the super jump tutorial. Again, I really wish that there was more that I could do to help you, but I've done all I can really do. Like I said, it's up to you. So I really hope this helps, and good luck on getting the super jumps to everyone who watches. And maybe pick up the speedrun too. I've been doing plenty of speedruns on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CalebHart42. I am absolutely loving this run, and it's so much fun. And definitely come and watch me there, because I will be doing more throughout this week, and probably next week, and the next one as well, and possibly the next one. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, leave a comment, hit that notification bell, and you all have a good day, and good luck in the super jumps.